to the Nerdarium. I'm your host, the Prancing Nerd, and you're joining me for a look at another GOAT, greatest of all time. And today we're looking at one of the all-time great comedy characters from my homeland, Britain, Alan Partridge. But before we go on, I'm going to have to assume that you're new here and just not very good at things, so I would love it if you would hit like and subscribe, as that is apparently the only way I can become the Queen of Poland. This video is just going to be a short overview because I'm certain I'll be revisiting this character again in the future, as there are just too many GOAT moments and qualities here to cover in a single video.
Like a Nazi officer, this, isn't it? Should snap my heels together here. Achtung! Guten Tag. Silence! Sorry, I had to miss you.
But Alan Gordon Partridge is a comedy character portrayed by English actor Steve Coogan, and is a role he's been playing since 1991, more than 30 years already. And in that time, Alan has become, as Vanity Fair said, a British national treasure, and The Guardian described him as one of the greatest and most beloved comic creations of the last few decades, both of which are very true statements. Co-created by Coogan and the equally legendary Armando Iannucci, the character of Alan Partridge is old enough that he started on BBC Radio 4's On the Hour all the way back in 1991, when radio was still a relevant medium. Alan Partridge is a low-grade celebrity who started out as a regional sports broadcaster.
As we look forward to all the sporting action that will take place in this year's 1994 World Cup finals in America, in Alan Partridge's World Cup countdown to 94. Goal! Yes, 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 yes! That was a goal! Goal! Striker! Eat that! And another! Bing bang, stick it in. Thank you and good night.
Twat! That was liquid football!
Shit! Did you see that? He must have a foot like a traction engine. Goal!
But he had aspirations of becoming a television talk show host, and ultimately succeeded in getting his own show in 1994, the ABBA-themed Knowing Me, Knowing You with Alan Partridge.
Aha!
Guests, Forbes McAllister.
Oh my God!
Oh well, Alan, happens to the best of them. After a brief 24-year absence, Alan found himself back on the TV in 2019 when, capitalising on the sickness and death of John Bascall, he became one of the hosts of the completely bland and pointless chat show that is perfectly suited to his talents, This Time.
Hi, Nathan, Jermaine, Shauna and Trent. It's that time.
What time?
High time, to say if you've got time to give this time your time, then it's time to let this time spend time making your time a good time on This Time.
What makes Alan special is just how well realised and consistently portrayed the character has been since conception. Originally created as a pastiche of regional sports presenters and then morphing to become more like some of the 80s and 90s talk show hosts like Russell Hardy and more notably Terry Wogan, with whom he shared a hairstyle, if you can call it that. Alan has adapted and evolved to remain a contemporary force of humour and has managed to avoid being a one-note joke.
There's Dan. Dan! 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 No, he's not seeing me. I'll get him later. Dan! Fine.
And hey,
Kayak.
good for all of you for getting behind our Hero Dogs campaign.
I love doing that to women.
In a case of life imitated in art, Richard Madeley, a remarkably worthless combination of semen and eggs, who is also a talk show host, in his old age seems to be almost modelling himself on the banality of Alan Partridge.
You look at the beach and you think, pretty, pretty, lovely golden sand, that's safe.
Yeah.
Not in certain parts of the country. Quicksand, and a horrible way to die. Having knocked someone out, which means you've given them brain damage, that's medically speaking. Do you make a lot of money? Are you rich?
Are you rich?
Yeah. Are you? Come on, it's a serious question. Are you able to make good money?
And although I try not to think about him any more than I absolutely need to, any time I see Piers Morgan, I feel like he is actively doing a twisted version of Alan. Every single time. Partridge is brilliantly portrayed as an obnoxiously small and officious man.
Now listen, right, hang on. I presume you're in charge. Let me tell you something, right? There's a security guard backstage called Steve. Right? Now, I promise you, if you make another sound, when you leave this area, he will hurt you. He will hurt you physically.
He has a painfully low EQ and no capacity to hide his petty emotions.
I could pretend to be your wife.
Despite the negative consequences, he often gives in to his anger and just lets his inner rage shine through.
Do you want to smell it?
No, thanks.
Smell the cheese.
No, I don't want to smell it.
Smell my cheese.
Alan, please. Why not?
Smell my cheese, you mother!
He loves all things British and is a huge fan of James Bond, particularly as portrayed by Roger Moore, even going so far as to reenact the opening of a Bond movie in his static home or caravan to a captive audience.
Oh, no, stop getting Bond wrong! I'll tell you about the spy who loved me. All do that with your fingers round your eye. I'm Roger Moore. Bang! Blood dribbles down.
He is almost certainly a Brexiteer and what is called completely without affection a Little Englander. In addition to being a brilliantly drawn and realised character, each new show has had a different comedic style, from the original chat show, which was all done in character and everything truly felt like it had been taken directly from the chat shows of the time, to a mockumentary style show that followed him around as his life circled the drain after his wife kicked him out and he lived in a travel tavern, to several actual documentaries where he explores rambling in nature and the various places of his life, to a feature movie, to several autobiographical books that led him to being on a fake mock comedy book show, and back again to an in-character chat show that's returning now in April 2021 for a second season. This constant subversion of the audience expectation is part of what manages to keep the character fresh, along with brilliantly executed humour.
Oh my God. So, old teacher of mine. But he was dead. Wow. Mr. Cragg, call him. Cragatoa, that's right. It was temper. Right, just a second.
I was pleased that a chance encounter with a former teacher allowed us both to catch up and clear the air. Old Cragatoa could be a bit of a bully, but he knew his onions chemistry-wise. Without him, words like magnesium alloy or copper sulfate would be as meaningless to me as made-up ones like coulme or breest.
The writing is always crisp and the dialogue natural and brilliant.
I'll be going on a very emotional journey to discover who, why and what I am. A Partridge pilgrimage, or a Partrimage, a Pilgramartridge, a Partramilgrimage.
Just stick to what you saw and we'll decide if it's ABH or GBH.
Yeah, you mean H?
That's what I said.
Nearly, you said H.
H is the sound of the letter, H is its name. One is H, the other is H, neither is H. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
The jokes are subtle but sublime.
Here to tell us more about these mustachioed mammals is the show's creator, Alice Clunt. Welcome.
Oh, it's Alice Fluck.
Right, I see what I've done.
So,
Many of the best moments are just randomly scattered across 30 years or so, and typically, for the best humour, they defy explanation. If you try and explain what's funny about this scene, Alan experimenting with eating an orange, you just kill everything that makes it special. So don't kill it, it's hilarious. It's classic Partridge, back of the net. Part of what makes Alan so funny is how awkward he is.
Give him another series, you swine.
Yeah, give me another series, you shit.
Part of what makes him so funny is his brilliantly narcissistic behaviour, which, of course, he is totally oblivious to.
Alan, this is Peter Linehan. He's revamping our current affairs outputs.
And part of what makes him funny is his sheer pettiness.
The ratings were 9th of what we could have expected. They started badly, they got worse.
badly, yeah, they got worse. Your programmes.
But the entire 30-year run is a brilliant collection of small moments that range from subtle and nuanced.
God, I've missed you.
I missed you and all, man, you know, I really have. I feel.
Hi, Tex. We're having a hoedown. I'm down, but I'm not a hoe.
But Coogan always does a stunning job of remaining consistent and true to the character, and after so many years, Alan has created his own lexicon of looks, phrases, attitudes, even his own fashion style.
The first look is what you'd wear to drive to Paris. It's called Cruiser Arriviste. Canary yellow shirt, horizon blue Stay Crease action slacks, cap, Polaroids, tan string-back driving gloves. It's a look that says, I'm in control of my vehicle.
And all of the shows just get better with repeat viewings. On that note, the character has a fanatical following, and there are at least 2 Facebook groups dedicated to nothing but Alan quotes and memes, and they're a joy to be part of, with a seemingly never-ending supply of people who've evidently memorised each show and appear to have an Alan quote for every occasion. And they're not scary, at all.
Glory be.
It took 14 hours. I fainted 3 times.
Jed, I'll level with you. I'm really scared.
There's no doubt about it, Alan Partridge is a GOAT, and Coogan seems happy to not retire the character, and as he's maintained and even up-leveled the quality of the humour over the years, I for one will be watching any and all Partridge content indefinitely and obsessively.
here we have a listing for Henry F***a-beggar.
Goodness me.
Now, back then, the word f*** didn't have its current meaning.
Okay.
It actually referred to hitting or striking.
Right, good. Well, hence the phrase, let's hire some Albanians to f*** him up.
A list of all of his shows are in the description. I'd recommend checking them all out. And if you're in the US, they're currently available on HBO Max. Gobble them up before they're gone. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. You'll be talking bollocks, but go ahead.
That's bollocks.
No,
Go on.
it's
Or, even better, tell me your favourite Alan moments so we can both revel in his glory. Or just hit me up on Twitter to call me a dickhead. Either way, keep nerding on.